Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the LPGA Tour of Korea. It is round number 1 of 4 here at the Lotte Open. 26 degrees right now out on course, 55% humidity, and a slight wind of 1.2 meters per second over top of Bear's Best in Cheongna. Let's head out to the course. Join Ji-Han-sul, putting from the fringe. She's even par through 10. Tap to get it on the move back onto the green. Will come up left of the target after a dramatic 5-hole playoff. That's Ji-Han-sul, Lee So-young, and Ha-min Sung all falling to Chung Yoon-ji at the 10th E1 Charity Open. Onto the par 3 12th. Also putting from the fringe, this is Jung. Decent bit of weight control. Another severe downhill putt that she will get started to set herself up for par. Putting on 10 for birdie Lee Dae-yeon at 4 under par. A birdie to get her to 5 under, just is pushed to the right side of the cup. 8 under currently the score to beat. And both EA1 and Sung Eugene are in the clubhouse with opening rounds of 64. Lee Dae-yeon will have to settle for par here. Currently in a lengthy tie for 14th with 13 other competitors. This par from Jung keeps her there. Well, fast and furious around the course in this opening round. Also on 10, Bang Min-ji. Just to get her one step closer to even par. Just cannot get it to break right at the end, so she will be settling for another par and will remain 2 over down in a tie for 92nd position. Last week's champion, the first win in her career. What an emotional moment it was when she finally claimed victory in the 5th playoff hole. Also finds herself at 2 under, but advancing from the rough to another patch of the second cut. Can't seem to put that ball back on the fairway. She took the title at the E1 Charity Open. Ji-Han-sul, who had won in 2021. First hole after the turn will result in a par. Also missing the fairway off the tee. Jung from 225 meters out. She is, however, able to avoid the tree and nestle that into the fairway. Another defending champion. A star-studded group this. 211 meters playing from the fairway, also with wedge for Chanana. She drives over the hazards and will roll all the way off the green and into the sand trap at the back of number 10. So she goes over. Just her second shot of the hole. Group number 31 had teed off at 12:25 local. Looks like 9-iron out of the fairway for Ida Yan, 121 meters back. Just over 77%, excuse me, on her greens in regulation. Able to find the green, will be perched up off to the left of the target. To 13 we go. Exact same yardage back. Needs to be to the front and left of the green here. She was left, just too far to it, and that will be a very tricky chip with the undulating green awaiting her. Tricky lie for Jung from 92 meters back, while slightly beneath her feet. She tries to find the middle of the green. She gets it on nicely. Will continue to roll ever closer. So after 2 trips to the rough, she recovers well and will still be lined up pretty well for a look at birdie. Short wedge up for Chien Sol. Only 66 meters shy. Needs the backspin to keep her close. Never wanted to come back towards the pin. She has been the best. The greens in regulation steadily over 80%, and another lovely approach. 4 meters out for birdie to take her under par if she can hole out with her next. Kim Ji-soo from the fairway at 14. Her approach onto the green will be just beyond pin high, nicely above the pin. Short downhill birdie putt will be next. Now we rejoin Chanana in the sand as she digs in. Lofts it out and will be still away when she grabs putter. Just outside of 100 meters, 105 to be precise for So-yeon Jung. Bounces nicely once and twice, a little roll back, and we'll have about 4 feet between her and a birdie. And a tricky play out of danger and navigates the hill very nicely. Just a couple of feet between she and her par. Shanana has left herself still with a bit of work to do here. She tries to find her birdie at the first of 2 par 5s on the back 9. It's on line. Only just stays out to the left. She had shot an opening round of 70 last year on the way to the win. She is on pace for that right now. 7 holes to play in her first round. Young trying to get to 5 under par. Looks like it's right, and it is. She will settle for a 2-putt par. The win vaulted Jung up to 4th. The season money standings, only trailing Young, Park Ji-young, and Yoo-hae Ran. Also left that attempt to the inside, so she will keep her 2-under score heading to 11. Another good point haul last week. Finishing in a tie for second, Chien Sol sits 4th on 159 points in the point standings. She knew that ball was coming back to the right, further than she had anticipated and away. Park Ji-young trailing only Yoo-hae Ran in both the points and the money lists. Trying to get to under par and able to do so with a nice birdie. Her first birdie since the 2nd hole. Her bogey at number 4 had kept her at even until now. And the short par save is made for Chien Sol. Shaking her head in a bit of disappointment to not be making up any ground as she exits the green. Now So Jung putting for birdie at 14. She's got this aimed about half a meter to our left to get it started. She's given herself enough. Yes, she has. That's a tricky birdie for her 3rd in the last 5 holes. And with 4 to play, she is only 3 back of our leaders. Here is hole number 11 at Bears Best, playing the Australasian part of the course, a 355-meter par 4. Modeled after hole number 7 at Sherwood Hills Golf and Country Club in the Philippines. 5 meters down the hill from the tee blocks. You can avoid the wetland on the left. You'll be A-okay. Slices are certainly not to be had in any capacity here if you want to avoid trouble. 387 yards, 354 from tee to green. 2 bunkers on either side of the putting surface and the pin today. 8 yards from the right edge of the green and 15 yards off the front. Just has enough to bounce through the rough and back into the fairway. And with the sprawling city of Cheongna in the background, this group makes their way down to the fairway. meantime, we'll head back to 14 with Kim Ji-soo. Fraction inside of 4 meters. Just runs out of speed. She had the line. Four to play and still 4 under par. Short par for Mimi Jung. She'll be content with that score after her detour from the fairway and onto the green. Nice up and down to save par. Having missed to the left, it will be pitching wedge from 98 meters out for Chanana. Gets it up 24 meters at the apex as it drops down and once again wants to roll towards the back, but the fringe will act as a bumper and keep her on the green. Over to the tee on number 12. 149 meters, the shortest par 3 on course. Up over the water for Lee Dae-yeon. That's heading left, and I believe that's even bounced into the sand trap at the back left of the green. The ideal tee shot there. Jung 86 meters out. Reaching for the gap wedge. She'll be closer than Chanana, but not a whole lot easier this look for birdie. And splits the difference between her group mates. So 3 putts for birdie will be coming up after Jung finds the green. 132 players are in the field this week competing for the title of this Lotte Open, event number 9 of 34 on the year. Ye-won and Sung-Yoo-jin, the scores to beat at the end of their opening rounds with rounds of 64, Chung Sul-gi and Kim Soo-ji occupying the next 2 spots on the leaderboard, not too far behind at 6 under par. Well, the first to putt in this group is Chana now from the back of the 11th green. Downhill putt that is starting right to left and needs to move back. It starts to, but not quite in time. Trying to shake some answers out of her putter. Someone behind the green appreciates the par. This time it's Ida Yon's turn to dig in to the sand behind the green. Missed to the left. Needs to get some good loft on this. Just gonna have enough momentum to roll down the hill through the rough and ever closer. About 1.5 meters will separate her. And a good save here. Jung hits this with a lot of pace. It has almost enough time to move back, is similar to miss to Chanana's. Tap in par for her as well at the 11th. We'll head over to 14 now, and you can see off the tee, drive to the left, and now using the right side of the fairway. Jung going for wood once again. Around 170 meters on average with each of her first 2 shots. She is able to find the green. After a nice tee shot at the 12th. Just outside of 1 meter for Jian Sol. She looks for birdie. Tries to outweight the wind as that last gust slows up a little bit, and she is able to get her first birdie since the 8th. Her 3rd of the day, and also had back-to-back bogeys included earlier in her front 9. G be 3 consecutive misses to the inside of the cup. We are over 3 in the hunt for birdie here at number 11. Dayan out of the sand and trying to save par. She's able to get it there. Well, an attempt to move to 2 under par here is Songaon. What a birdie putt that is. Eliminates the bogey she had at the last, picks up her 3rd birdie of the day, and moves within 6 with 4 holes to play. one putting 33% of the time. 27th mark on tour. Nazimi Jung looks for a birdie here at the par 5. Comes across the edge of the cup with a little bit too much pace. Pops right back over top. She'll be disappointed not to be heading to 15 at 3 under. Well, it's a difficult streak of holes, to say the least. You don't get the nickname Bears Landmine for nothing. Testing the accuracy, forcing you to be at your best down the stretch. It makes Sundays all the more interesting. This is the 150-meter par 3 12th. We've had 5 throughout the course of the day find the water off the tee.
Go. Go. Oh.
Well, safely avoids the hazard, but this will be a rather long putt back up the hill, significantly to the right for Pak Ji-young. Eight iron for Chanana off the tee. That's a lovely bounce over top. The final mound guarding the front edge of the green. Playing out of the sand. Oh, drops that wonderfully from the heavens. Last year's points and money leader, not quite as torrid of start to the season in 2022, though she has found herself right back up in the race in both of those leaderboards. 5th in the money, 3rd in the points. Not quite enough to roll out and onto the green. It gets hung up on the fringe.
내가 놓쳤어. 야, 너 때문에 다 쫄아가지고. 진짜 맞자마자
This hole designed the 3rd hole at the Kinroach Golf Resort in New Zealand. Lake Taupo. 114 meters for Jan Sol at 14. Attacks the front left where she needs to be, and confident we will have at least one birdie after 2 very nice approach shots between she and Peng Min-ji. So we go to 14. Kwon So-yeon never wanted to come back to the right until the very end when it was too late. Par will keep her at 2 under. G chips it down and runs the speed quite well. The approach up and onto the green at number 13. 3.5 meters downhill. Should be 9 iron here to get up, and she's closer than her partners, and that's saying something. A trio of excellent approaches, setting up low scores. Back to 12. Back across the width of the green and up the hill. Park Ji-young gave it a really good go. Stops up inside of a couple of feet. She'll mark off and take her par. Jisoo inside the top 75 in the world rankings. Overshot that and pushed it about a meter to the right of the cup. Chanana started right and stayed right. Two-putt par for her as well. To get back right, but it stays to the inside. Tricky downhill look at bird, and we are 0 for 1 in this group. G comes up short. rattles in her par to stay at 2 under with just 6 holes to play in this opening round. Dayan, once again, a look to get to 5 under. Wind at her back and blowing a little left to right on top of that. Stu push to the right. Par save at number 12 to keep Jung at 1 under par.
못 들었어요.
We're in for a marathon, certainly not a sprint to this Jack Nicklaus design course. Here's Jung, 125 meters from the rough. Battling a bit of the wind as well. She gets up onto the putting surface. Last hope for this group to find birdie lies with Chien Sol. Starts it on line, drops to her knees as she was trying to carry that ball with her to the right. Had a moment like that in the playoff on Sunday. She had nearly a full revolution. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it goes the opposite. Sunggaeun up on 15. A little perilous with that bounce. So we'll head to the 13th tee. That nearly had so much pace that it popped right back out of the sand. Bit of a cut and does not find safety. Of the 3 to tee off is Jung, and she too is going to be joining Chanana on the sand on the left side of the fairway. We'll continue to make a push up the leaderboard at the end of the round for So-Yeon Jung. This would be another birdie to move her within 2 and into a tie for 3rd. Nice read. Every other hole from 10 to 16 has resulted in a birdie. She is knocking at the door. Decently clean contact from Dayan, but she's put herself in a bit more of a predicament as she comes up in the rough once again off to the left side. That's more like it from Jian Sol right back into the middle of the fairway. Jung rattles it off the tree, and Chanana and her caddy need to duck for cover as that almost came back down on top of them. Little wave over to say my bad. Over to 15, Imi Jung. It'd be quite the miraculous birdie if she could get it there. Two swings of the putter, and we'll be settling for par once again. Down to just the final 3 holes in her opening round. We 5-iron off the tee at number 17 for So-Yeon Jung. She goes back-to-back birdie on the way in. She will finish the day with a share of the lead. That will not help the cause. Bouncing off the patch of rough in the sand trap and keeping her in the beach. Now back on the fairway. Here's the second for Park Ji-young, and she's going to get the spin back towards the hole. It's a nice recovery after hitting the tree and knowing that birdie would be ambitious. She'd have to hole out, but par wouldn't necessarily be a gimme either. Jisoo also taking 5-iron out of the bag at the par 3. To the front right of the green. Decent way back for birdie. Now Chanana's approach. She too is going to get a nice bit of backspin. I hope Park Ji-young can fully apologize for nearly hitting Chanana with the ball out of the sand. Those two top performers, veterans now on the LPGA Tour of Korea, sharing a laugh as we near the end of our opening hour of coverage. The opening round of the Lotte Open. It is So-Yeon Jung with 2 holes to play, 2 back of the lead, and also having started on the 10th hole, we are seeing Yoo So-yeon too also make her way up to the front page of the leaderboard. I'll look from in behind. Hole number 18 here at Bears Best. And the top 5 in the money list, or the points list, was where we'll start. Then we'll take it to the money list. The first 2 remain unchanged. Yuhei Ran leads Park Ji-young, Lee Young, Chung Yoon-ji, and Peng Min-ji in the money. She leads Park Ji-young, Peng Min-ji, Chi Han-sol, and EA1 in the points. And EA1, who is 5th on the primary points leaderboard, also leads the rookies. Mata Som, the closest to, though there was a 108-point gap between the two. Kwon So-yeon, Son Ye-bin, and Yuni Na round out the top 5. Well, one of 3 Bears Best in the entire world. This course designed what is rightfully called a dazzlingly beautiful coastline with the sea, valley, and mountains in harmony. I would go as far as to say that's almost a dazzlingly beautiful effort from off the green to nearly find the bottom of the cup from last week's winner. 114 meters out on 14 for Jansel. Playing her final par 5 of the day. Gonna get a nice bounce back online and will be short of about 1.5 meters for birdie. Now Park Ji-young trying to save par. A little right to left and keeps just enough breathing room available to her to keep herself at 1 under. .116 meters out, still in the rough on the 14th year's Lee Dae-yeon. Average distance from the pin after a shot from this range is about 6.5 meters. Well, the troubles continue. Now she's onto the right side, but into the sand. That lovely approach, Jung Yoon-ji is able to get up and down. Tee shot on 17 from So-yeon Jung found the sand. On the left side of the green, here is her first shot out of the bunker. Still north of 4 meters as she'll try to keep herself at 6 under. And China has her short par. On to number 14, 6 back of the leaders. This would take Kim Ji-soo up to 5 under par, but it is a miss to the inside of the cup. So a 2-putt par, and the 18th will be next. shot at 14 for the winner of the second event of the season, the Mediheal Hangugal Boat Championship. Finds its way into the rough. That is the result of the tee shot for Midayon. Hopefully, in Jung's case, she'll be able to get out of trouble here. This ball is off to the right, but not the worst little patch of rough to find. Looks like it'll be nicely into the narrow fairway. Designed this very straight par 5 off the 5th hole at the Long Golf and Country Club in Malaysia. Of course, that was opened in 1993 as Nicholas's first in Malaysia. Gets enough backspin on that to prevent it from rolling any further back to the left as Midayon punches that out. Peng Min-ji and Jian Sol in some unintended synchronicity there as well. So Jung trying to save par. Incredibly disappointing for a bogey at this stage in the round. It's a great save. She may not be finishing the day in the lead, but she will be very nicely inside the top 5. This will take Jian Sol to 2 under if she can find the bottom of the cup. And she has. Her second birdie of the back 9. Very well worked. Just a handful of holes to play in her opening round. Looking at 292 meters. I believe that's a 5-wood in the hand of Park Ji-young. Cuts that across to the right side of the fairway. We'll have a decent look down at the green. We just saw an impressive par save at 17. Midayon will be looking for one here at 14. Over hits it. Just working on the razor's edge with that line and had too much pace to give herself any leniency. It's her first bogey of the round. Drops her to 3 under on the way to the 15th tee. At 276 from the fairway and hopefully staying there. And is staying there. Nice second shot from Chung Yoon-ji. You can really start to hear the wind pick up. Make things all the more difficult for the remaining groups out on course. Yu So-yeon 2 now up to 7 under par with 3 holes to play on the front 9. So-yeon Jung keeps herself in that race for a share of third, but she needs a birdie at the last. We will see that in just a few moments here, the opening round of the Lotte Open. Rejoining our featured group on the par 5 14th. This is the first of the approach shots. Jung, 122 meters. The border of the fairway off to the right. Bounces once and away from the pin, but she is on. Jiansol also from the second cut just off the fairway, avoids the sand. That's the key thing. Our wedge shot onto the green, but it's onto the back and will roll right off. Be a decent little spin back to have a pretty straight look above the cup for Jung. Playing out of the rough, Idayan. Accuracy issues off the tee starting to come back to be in point of contention on the home stretch here. She's able to avoid the rough and the sand just onto the front of the green. Bit more spin on that than would have been preferable, contending with the headwind as well that time from Chanana. Final par 3 of the day for Amy Jung. Was hoping for a kick back onto the putting surface, but she'll come up short of the green. Jiansol deciding to putt here from the back of the green. Pretty nasty slope that she's got a great line on. She's holed out. That'll be the birdie of the day for her. It is the third in the last 4 holes. If only she could go back in time and fix the mistakes from 3 and 4, she would be within a stone's throw. But that is another excellent shot to kick her back out onto the right track, heading towards the final few holes. Song, another member of the 5-hole playoff on Sunday, taking her time with this look at birdie that would take her back to even. Right to left. Looks like she started it on line. She's got it. You can see the weight on her shoulders lift immediately. She had finally got back to even 2 holes ago, then dropped again at the last, but picks up another birdie in this home stretch. Now Chanana putting for birdie from the front of this green. Not quite going to have the speed to get there. Kwon So-yeon. A short, mostly straight look at birdie. It's almost too straight, but it has just enough to kick back in. Back to 14. Well, the sweep back to the right starts, but starts a little bit too early. ENG runs out of speed and is a miss short and right. So she will concede for par and stay at 2 under. It's where everyone in the group is, 6 back with 3 holes to play. Now Daeyeon at 15. Well, it's starting back, it's got a chance, and she too has found a clutch putt. 4 under is her score. Their first birdie since the 9th. Can this birdie train continue? It would take quite the putt, 7.2 meters out of Jung. Why not? She's got it there as well, off the stick and down. That is now birdies at 2, 10, and 14. Picked up a bogey at the 4th. She joins the ever-building fray at 2 under. Now Imi Jung, a little pitch off the front of the green. Comes up left, but that will be an up and down to save par. Slight right to left as Chanana is able to tap that in and save her par. Off to 15 she will go. And as it stands at the moment, there is quite the backlog. Those tied for 21st. There are 14 of them right now at 2 under. Yunina tied for the top 10 at the moment with almost the entirety of her back 9 still to be played. 5th on the LPGA Tour of Korea rookie standings, trailing Son Ye-bin, Kwon So-yeon, Mata Som, and EA1. Jung will be looking for a little bit more consistency in her fairways and regulations, only 55% until she can add another one.
네.
The initial reviews of that drive for Chanana were overwhelmingly positive, but it is slightly off to the right, missing the fairway. Last drive is away. Interesting cut of rough in the fairway here. Forces you to be a little bit more precise off the tee. One more birdie in her pocket. Here's Ha-Min Sung. This is the front right of the green. The most recent par 3, just 2 holes to play in her opening round. It's a great effort. Just to the inside of the red flagstick from off the green, and it's always a nice feeling when you are handed your putter and there's less than half a meter to go. Out of the sand, Jian Sol trying to figure out just which angle that ball was taking out of the trap. She is able to find the green, though she has some work to do with her next shot. From just on the green, this was the first effort with the putter. Couldn't quite get it there. It's outside of the automatic make territory as well. Able to carry over the hazards. It was on the green, but only for a moment. Lee Dae-yeon will have that come to rest on the fringe. She has done so well to avoid this exact scenario. But it is a bogey at the last after a bogey at the first hole of her round all in. 67 in day one. She will head to the clubhouse within 3 of our leaders, but that will certainly leave a bit of a sour taste in her mouth. Good effort from Ha-Min Sung from off the green. Almost have to call this a down and up instead of an up and down, but it should just be 2. Nine iron from 120 meters out on the fairway at 15. Dropped it nicely for Jung. Now, fitting for the Lotte Open, we have Jung in her Thursday red, and she is red hot. Even the hair to match. 3 straight birdies gets her up to 2 under par. Narrowly missing the fairway off the tee. Slightly misaligned to the right and a bit too much club. She's found herself all the way at the back of the green. That's where you want to land it here in terms of depth, but slightly misaligned for Mimi Jung as she's off to the left as well. From the sand to the back left of the green, Janana is 0 for 2. The most recent shots. And on the fairway at 18, it's 158 meters back for Sunggun. A little bit more power. She might have had the kick she needed back onto the green, but she will stay the rough just off the front. Bit of a head scratcher, that one. Opportunity for birdie from Muni now, but it will just be par. Just a few holes into her back 9. Jian Sol from the front left needs to aim this towards the middle and hit it with enough pace to get up the hill. Starting on back, but doesn't quite have it there for back-to-back miraculous birdies. Once again, proving why that is one of, if not the most powerful clubs in her bag these past few weeks. It's a decent start back towards the pin from Janana. Was an uphill putt from Midayan. Didn't quite need that much power though. Jung also from the back portion of the green. She gets closer than her group mates, but still not quite enough to get there. Down to the final 2 holes for Idayan after another birdie to maintain her mark at 4 under par, 4 back at the top of the leaderboard. Jung, it's too much to the left. Didn't give herself enough space. Needed to be aimed. Ball's width to the right. So she'll settle for a 2-putt par as well. With the exception of Jan Sol about 15 minutes ago, we are not seeing many birdies. A lot of up and downs and 2-putt pars from across the course as we take a look at the 16th. 362 meters is the distance from the tee blocks to the green over the big cut of sand that separates the fairway right off the tee. So a water hazard just at the end of the sand, 195 meters from the tee. Those trees just off the cart path, that is the expected landing area. And just as the fairway narrows before the green opens up, there's also a sand trap at the back. And a pretty tricky downslope to the left side of the pin placement today that will be important to try and avoid. The flag location, 12 yards from the back, 6 yards from the left. That'll be Park Ji-young teeing off first. Off nicely that time. Another hole inspired by Malaysian course, this one from the 9th hole at Mayo Golf and Country Club. Business as usual from Janana, how often she is used to thanking the sea of nice shots she hears after hitting it with driver. The clouds have completely left the course here in Jung, 23 degrees as well. Perfect 3 for 3. 16th tee, and this featured group is away. To the last we go. Jung from 10.5 meters back. One last attempt at birdie. Came back online for at the end. So she'll finish the day with a par. She had 11 of those in a row, did most of her birdieing through the first 5 holes where she had 3 of them. It is a 70 in round 1. Jung still occupies the 4th position in the K rankings, trailing only Chanana Yuhei-ran and Peng Min-ji. Chansol, who is up another spot on the L of Hazi's points leaderboard, to 5th in that season-long competition. Able to navigate to the back 3rd of the green. Sungoon and short finish. 4 pars in a row. Bogeys at 6 and 10 and 2 birdies on the way in. Meters out, the shortest of the 3 drives, though each playing from the fairway. Trampolines a little bit and will roll off to the back left. Well, that will be relatively inconsequential. Should still just be putter. Effort off the tee from Lee Daeyeon. Jung, her approach, can she keep it a little bit closer to the pin? Nope, she is even off the fringe and right into the border of the rough. Now with the most accurate of the approach shots. Takes a pretty healthy divot as we get a look at the clubhouse here at Bears Best and the park's beautiful development project they've got going on in Cheongna, and the course is certainly one of the highlights. 64 is still the score to beat, and Yu So-yeon too, only with a couple of holes left to try and equal it. We'll take a quick break and be right back out to Bears Best. Here, our coverage of the opening round, the Lotte Open. We'll resume right after this. Well, I briefly mentioned the LFASI's points updated standings a few minutes ago with the rise of Chihan Sol up into the 5th position on 1,884 points. A full look at the top 8, no movement 1 through 4. Yuhei Ren, EA1, Bang Min-ji, and Park Ji-young. Lee Ga-young drops 1 spot as she is passed by Chihan Sol. Lee So-mi, no movement in 7th, still on 1,650. And Chun Ye-sung up 2 spots on 1,380 points. To 18, Kwon So-yeon looking to get to 4 under, and we'll hope this is her final shot of the day, but it comes up just short. Chihan Sol once again has this started. She's got another one. So on the penultimate hole, she finds her birdie in unlikely fashion on 17. That putter is red hot. On to 16, this is a tricky one for Park Ji-young, needing a little bit more with the ball resting right in the rough, but the control will be key here as well. So she plays that almost perfectly. So just a little nudge from centimeters away. Good effort from the rough. That could have gone much more awry for her. Kwon So-yeon to secure the round of 69. Birdies at 2, 6, and 16. All pars the rest of the way. She finishes her opening round as it stands at the moment in a tie for 11th position. We reckon that this would be a putter situation for Jung Yoon-ji. Has just enough pace. Perfect out of the fringe and erases that bogey at number 15. It is her 4th birdie of the day. An impressive one for her as well. Now Lee Dae-yeon currently in a tie for 9th. She can change that with 1 putt and get up the leaderboard. She's there. 2 birdies in the last 3. Her 6th of the day. Now Hoda Bean checking in with her for the first time today. Looking to get to 1 under, and she's there only just, but it does fall for her. 2 birdies now on the back 9, and all smiles as she heads to the 16th tee. Checking in with the defending champ to move within 5 strokes off the lead. Needs to start getting right in a hurry. Reaches back into her right hip pocket to pull the ball marker out and get herself realigned. Chihan Sol has reached the 18th tee with the red bleachers and clubhouse looming in the background. Here is her effort. Towards the left side of the fairway, but in the fairway. she get to within 2? Just needs a birdie here at the final hole. Back to 18 in a moment, but first we witness the par save for Janana. Just has enough momentum to carry that to the bottom of the cup, and she will stall out here at 16 on 2 under. And while they walk over to the tee, I'll show you what's ahead at number 17. 4 different sand traps. The left side of the green, 1 at the back right. And that's a thick patch of fairway on the way down, and yes, a very topsy-turvy topography here at the 17th. The pin location just off that darker shaded blue at the front of the green. 9 and 9 from front and right, respectively. Also modeled off of a famous 17th hole, this one in Australia at Heritage Golf and Country Club. I can only imagine as the tournament progresses, when we get closer to Sunday, we'll see a lot more left pin locations at 17, which will really bring those sand traps in play. Jian picks up another birdie. Doesn't require a big swing. She did her work on the approach with her 3rd shot. Takes another step forward as well. She's putting together quite the day. This 5-iron off the tee at 17. Well, no one is testing themselves too much with that handful of hazards to the left-hand side. We're seeing just about everyone go off to the right if they're going to be short. Only 159 meters remaining for Idayan. And that sand trap proves to be costly. She was in pretty fine form to pick up one last birdie on the day. But she'll need another good sand safe. .100% accuracy on par 3s. Taking a bitless club going with 6, but then she has that extra power off the tee. Stays atop the slope, does not roll down into the sand. But each of the 3 all find themselves short. I believe we're checking out the shot map for Yusoyeon 2 now. Be a little pitch from Fringe. That was a bogey at number 7. Has taken her 2 strokes back again. She's 7 birdies on the day. Be an impressive hole out if she wanted to get back to it, but I think she'll be content to be right where she is. And that is a short birdie, or short par putt, excuse me, away before heading to number 9. So I'll update the leaderboard for you now. You can see her second to last on the front page in a share of tied for third right now at 6 under with Kim Soo-ji, Chung Sul-gi is EA1, and Sung Eugene at 8 under par. Jihan Sol and Lee Dayan, of course, not far off the pace at 4 and 5 under respectively. Final stages of their round, they'll try and pick up a couple more places before we bring our opening round coverage to a close here in Cheongna. Here we go to 17, a series of second shots from off the green. Park Ji-young, the first to play, and comes 5 centimeters short of holing out for birdie. She was so frustratingly close, and she knows it. Janana kindly removes the flag for her while her caddy is preoccupied. She is through 17 holes and is on pace for a round of 70. Back to number 8. This now a par save for Yu So-yeon 2. And she's there. Only the 9th hole remains. An incredible opening day. How much of that momentum will she be able to carry with her tomorrow? All in the same ballpark. Jung, another really good effort from off the green, making it look far too easy. Our featured group today, when you're consisted of the defending champion and the winner from last week, you know you're in for some pin attacking. Jung, no slouch either. Second in the points and the money so far this season. Now Lee Dae-yeon trying to blast it out of the sand at 18. Pretty good control. Leaves her with a putt from a distance that's good about 60% of the time. Well, one of the many amateurs in the field this week. Chipping from off the back. 18 meters out, and I have a feeling that Jo-Yeon is going to at least get close. Takes it a bit too far. Over par thus far for the day, one of the youngest entrants in the field. A bit of an awkward stance this. Janana's choked up. Down on the grip, just a little tap to get it started. Down the hill, and not quite enough power on that. Looks down at the face of the wedge to try and find an answer that of course she's not going to get. So now she'll be putting to save par. Here's Jan Sol chipping for birdie in a round 67 if she can get it there. It's going to be to the left, but nice and close, and 68 appears to be where she will be finishing this opening round. And Jo-Yeon has her par. Back-to-back pars now on the day. 2 birdies at 9 and 11. Not trying to the par save. Too much right to left, and she's missed that. So it's a tap and bogey, and we haven't seen one of those all day long. Chananan, the par 3, comes back to get her. She had previously birdied the par 3 on the front 9. Well, what an effort that is from beneath the green. Nice hole out to move closer to even par. Can't have any complaints with that if you are Son Seung-hwa. Jung will be first to tee off at 18. Last time she teed off at an 18th hole, she would be going back to that tee block 4 more times or 5 more times in a row. And the flood of emotion she had on Sunday after finally being crowned champion was a mixture of the exhaustion from nearly 7 hours of golf, where she was pushed to her absolute limit and she prevailed. Playoff went so long on Sunday they had to cut a new cup. Tied for 7th last year with Jung. She would go 70, 73, 70, 73 on the way to a 2-under finish. To the green on 18. Lee Daeyeon with a lengthy par save. Just has enough to get it there. You can see the relief. It is a round of 67 finishes and a tie for 6th at the moment. Just 1 bogey on the round. A 6 on the par 5, 14th. Our defending champion finds herself down in a tie for 32nd with 10 other competitors, 11 players currently tied at 1 under. We have 64 of our 132 player field under par. Only 1 withdrawal on the day, having previously lost Jung. Chien Sol. It is par, an incredible back 9, and if not for some trouble at 4 and 5, as she gives a thumbs up on her way off the green, she would be in a tie for 3rd position, but very much in the race. Now Hoda Bean, 70% greens in regulation, going with hybrid off the tee. It's 172 meter par 3 17th. Well, the club gets her on the green, but it takes her towards the left side. She'll want to remember that exact shot for the weekend, I'm sure. Something of a disappointing day for Peng Min-ji. No birdies of record, bogeys at 7 and 9. It's a 74 in round number 1. Pretty remarkable to look back and remember that at this point in the season last year, Peng Min-ji would have had 3 wins already, and then would go on to go back-to-back following the Lotte Open, winning the Celtrian Queens Masters and the 35th Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. Chipping from the right of the green. Should be close enough for a par at the last for Yoo So-yeon. Currently level with Chung Sul-gi and Kim Soo-ji. 65 strokes through her round, and we'll be hoping that there is only 1 more. It's 141 meters out from the rough separating the 2 fairways. Jeon, it's a pretty good bounce. Takes a healthy divot and doesn't quite get the carry she would have been hoping for. Bit of a tailwind right now as well that perhaps made her question the club selection a little bit. unable to find par with the final swing of the day. So that will take her down to 5 under. But still an impressive performance for Yu So-yeon too. It's 13.6 meters for Ho Da-bin. Grazes the inside left edge of the cup, but will not be able to find a birdie at 17. The second bogey of the day also had one at 7, but far more birdies than there were bogeys. And if she could have avoided those 2 holes over par, she would be in sole possession of 3rd. Tip of the cap from Ho Da-bin, as she is now 1 hole removed from finishing her round at even. Here's the approach shot from Chanana. Bounces once out of the rough and picks up speed. Will roll to the back right of the green. Yuni Na on 15. She missed the fairway to the left, but this is a 60-degree wedge up, and the wind pushing that ball towards the right side of the green. Jung Yoon-ji also electing to go with the hybrid. Rolls right off the back. It's an interesting club selection here. Especially if you're not quite as long off the tee, it makes it a bit tricky. 141 meters for Park Ji-young. Might be going with 7 and trying to play it safe. I think instead she goes for a full 8 and will bounce into the front right, that second cut before the green. The leaderboard really starting to take shape with just a handful more groups still to finish their rounds, and the 2 leaders are the same as where we met them when we started the broadcast 135 minutes ago. We are just after 5 p.m. local time in Cheongna, and only a couple of holes to play. Round 1 here at the Lotte Open. Jung the first to play her third at the final hole of round number 1. Decent pitch up into the wind and nearly gets level with the pin, but that is not going to be an easy par putt either. So she makes the slow march up the green as we will quickly head to 16 with Jian. Starts back online, moves too far to the left and runs out of speed. Nevertheless, a decent effort. Chanana is next, also playing from the rough just off the green. Will be a similar shot, just from a bit closer in and from the opposite side of the green. Appears as though she set herself up in a good spot to find a par. So Jung, the only player in the top 30 to bogey here at 18. Jung Soo-gi had a birdie, as did Kim Ga-young. We got the confirmation. A very short tap in. Another hole down for Hong Jian. The only one to be putting their third shot, Park Ji-young, was offline to the right. 2 short looks at par and a much more difficult one for Chung Soo-gi. Chung Min-ji, excuse me. Now to hole number 15, Uni Na for birdie to get to 3 under. It's making a fast move to the left, and it was known it was going to be slightly off the mark. The 70th stroke of the day. The LPGA Tour of Korea's most recent winner, 4.6 meters. Starting to move back to the right, but stays too true, and it will be bogey. Drops her down to 1 under with 2 bogeys in the final 4 holes, a round of 71 in round 1. Will exit the green in a tie for 31st position. Three holes to play. Uni Na, another par. 2 under is her score. Two under is what Park Ji-young hopes will be her score. A little more to the outside, has that on line. Only 1 bogey on the round, coming at the 4th, and 4 straight pars to finish off the day. And after bogeying 17, Chanana can be level with her group mate with a par here. She's got it. So the defending champ, who went 70 in round number 1 last year, starts her tournament with a round of 71. Kishan at 17. Iron is the club of choice. Takes 8 out of the bag and doesn't quite have enough to bounce onto the green. Over to 14. Hung down at 2. Putting into the wind and watching that curl back and miss left. It's now 4 pars in a row, only 1 bogey on the day, coming at 4, which has proven to be an incredibly difficult hole for many in the field. So here's where we sit at the moment, with everyone in the top 9 having finished their round, 2 rounds of 64. So Eugene and the rookie EA1, another fantastic start to her first tournament in the top level of Korean women's golf. Jung, who's still out on course at 4 under, near the top of page 2 on the leaderboard. Not a cloud in the sky over Chung now. From our vantage point, you can see just about 80% of the holes being contested from today all the way until Sunday, where we will crown likely the 12th different champion here for this tournament that began in 2011. Yuso Yan won the inaugural playing. John and I will have some work to do if she wants to repeat and defend her title. Well, with both of our featured groups in the clubhouse, we will follow the final few holes of a couple more top 30 competitors at the minute. And this is the effort from Jung from off the green. Trying to putt from the fairway and missing by about a meter to the inside left. Now Uninat 16. Fraction inside of 100 meters on this approach shot. Well, the spin will prevent that from jettisoning off the back of the green. Now Jian, the par save to keep her at 4 under. Her last birdie came at the 15th. And some snapshots from round number 1 with the first groups today teeing off at 6:40 a.m. Not quite as much sun early this morning as we have right now towards the end of the day. 18 certainly provides quite the backdrop for some great still photography. Chanana, of course, enjoying herself. She would be a little bit less enthusiastic after the bogey at 17. It was a difficult back nine. And hey, any day you can fire the tee shot gun in towards the patrons and give them a souvenir, the better. And maybe even a souvenir golf ball for the groups as they finish off at the 18th. With such a low score to start the tournament, never say never when it comes to a new course record, new tournament record. For the 4-round events, 18 under is the lowest we've ever seen from one of the true stars. The export, Kim Yo-ju, a 66 in her opening round, would have a 68, 69, and 67 on the way to the title. We also had a 23 under back in 2018 when it was still a 3-round tournament. Jung Min at a 62, 10 under par in round number 2. Back to the tee at 18 Hong Jin Young 2. Places that nicely towards the left side of the fairway. So Jean at 1 under through 17 holes. With a lower ball flight off the tee, but doesn't change the outcome. It is fairway. Uninai putt for birdie. To lefter. Needs to start coming back. Didn't give herself enough breathing room. It was also hit with a ton of pace, that. This on 15, 108 meters back. Kangdana 2. Decent area of the green to arrive onto. Almost the exact center. It's par at 16. 2 under with 2 holes to play for Uni Na. There's 3 birdies on the front 9 from Jian, a bogey-free round thus far. 154 meters to make up. 2 swings to the pin, and she will be finished 3 back. It's played to the left side of the green. It's going to stay on the putting surface, but I think that is safe to say birdie is out of the question after that approach. Well, a frustrating run for Jung from 11 to 13, 3 straight bogeys. Still managed to stay under par, but only just 4 birdies prior to that unfortunate streak. Approach shot comes up short. That rough off the front right is proving to be a relatively popular location for these second shots on the 18th and final hole. Well, the only real change we might see in the home stretch here would be Jian if she is able to find that birdie. Otherwise, it is staying as it is right now. Once Group 39 wraps up, we'll get you the first round highlights, the final leaderboard, before we say goodbye towards the top of the clock here this Thursday in Cheongna. Langdana 2's putt for birdie is pushed to the outside of the cup, and that will stall her at 3 under. Second lowest score of those still out in the field. Only 4 of the final 12 out on course are under par. This is group number 43. And with that, the latest starting tee time, 1:30, just over 4 hours and 10 minutes ago. The effort from off the green, not nearly enough pace on that chip from Pak Seo-jin. Yunina's tee shot at number 17. Also electing to pull iron out of the bag. She's trying to clear the sand traps, but doesn't have enough carry, so she will be taking the sand wedge out of the bag next. Meanwhile, this putt from 12.5 meters away. Be a miraculous birdie, but it could prove to be an important one. It's a pretty good read at the line, just not quite enough pace from Hong Ji-yeon. Another competitor choosing hybrid here. Joanne. A bit too much club that time, as she is firmly in the back third of the green at 17. And Pak Seo-jin trying to avoid another bogey moment. Would be 4 in the final 8 holes, unless she's able to get a par here. Looks like she just has enough. She goes out with a 33, impeccably 3 under, undoes the work with 3 straight bogeys, and the birdie at number 10 keeps her under par at the end of round number 1. And now the 68th shot of the day for Hong Ji-yeon. Pulled to the inside. It's a disappointing way to end the day. So it's a 69 instead. The only bogey for entire round coming at the 18th and final hole. Sung Sung-hwa had a short par putt as well for a round of 73. She had one of the shots of the day, the hole out from the sand. Well, quite the location for this Jack Nicklaus design course here in Jungna, just outside of Yichun. It's a massive development program development project, in place. This Chungna International City, built on nearly a 2 million square foot plot of land. Population that is expected to reach 90,000 in a gorgeous location on the coast. Well, here we have our opening round highlights. We begin with one of the two competitors to reach 8 under par on the day. Here's Sung Eugene's birdie at the par 3. On to the 6th. Kim Soo-ji, the approach shot. 4 under when she swung the club here. That score wouldn't last for very long because she'd be going under par again. Going right at the pin, a short tap in. And then on 7 with the tunes blaring in the background, EA1. Be her 4th birdie of what is the front 9, having started on the 10th tee. She'd go on to have 6 on the day. Next up to 9. 6.3 meters back of a birdie. Kim Soo-ji says no problem. Wedging that between the flagstick and the cup, and would finish her round with a 66, excuse me. And then EA1, one more birdie on the day. Her 64th and final stroke. A ridiculous, in the best kind of way, stretch of 9 holes where she had 6 birdies. It's an incredible day at the office for the rookie. So Jung, it was not the easiest finish to the round, but she had a few of these bright moments. It's her 3rd birdie in a 5-hole stretch. And then Jian Sol, the putt of the day from the fringe all the way in. She was in absolutely tremendous form once again with that putter. It would be back-to-back birdies. Dayan, not to be outdone, somehow gets this on line at the end. That is a very tricky swooping downslope. She makes it look easy. Take her to 4 under par. Then on 17, Jihan Sol, more magic with the flat stick. Her vision on these greens the past few weeks has been absolutely impeccable. Would take her to 4 under with a birdie at the par 3 17th. The Dayan says, okay, I'll follow suit as well. Those two were exchanging low score after low score. Jian Sol would finish at 4 under in a tie for 9th. Dayan at 5 under with her round of 67. There you see her at the bottom of page 1 on the leaderboard. Just 3 back of our leaders. Ton of low scores in this opening round, the first of 4. The Lotte Open. Go Chiu amongst those also in a tie for 11th with rounds of 69. Pak Bo-gyam. Kwon So-yeon will be disappointed to be finishing at 3 under, though. Still a decent opening round. Jung-mi really turned it up on the backstretch. She finishes in a tie for 19th with a round of 70, including a spell of 3 birdies in a row. Pak Jung, who we followed closely throughout the course of this afternoon, would finish with a 70. Kim Ji-young, too, still out on course, playing the 9th hole, has an opportunity to reach 3 under with a birdie at the 9th hole. Her 18th of the day. Uni now, of course, still out 2 under through 16. Well, we will leave you with one final aerial shot over Bears Best here at Cheongna. We will be back the same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. local time for round number 2, the final opportunity to get yourself inside the cut line, and then we will turn our attention to what should be a thrilling weekend. On behalf of our entire crew here at SBS Golf, I've been Adam Jenkins saying thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday night at Bears Best. We look forward to doing it all over again tomorrow in the race for the title, the 12th playing of the Lotte Open. So long for now.